It's Daren Bailey with Caldwell Banker McMahon here with Heather Kahn of Metro Title, and we are answering a few questions about closings. Today, here's our question. What if a buyer or seller is out of town and their property is ready to close?
So there are actually three different options for both a buyer or a seller. Personally, I think the easiest is to give someone a power of attorney. So if it's a spouse situation, you can give your spouse that's going to be here a power of attorney, parent, friend. Some realtors will do it. It's really up to you guys. But what we do is we can email you the power of attorney well in advance of closing. You would need to sign that in the presence of a notary and two witnesses, and then get the original back to us prior to closing, because it does have to be recorded with the deed. With a power of attorney, we charge $50 to prepare it. We also charge, or the clerk charges actually $50 to record it. Now, if you already have, say it's an elderly parent, and you have a general power of attorney, that's perfectly fine. Just get it to us beforehand. We just need to make sure that there's some specific powers in there allowing you to sell real estate. And then you'll bring the original to closing. So that's very important. We always have to have the original closing. If we prepare the power of attorney, just to add, we do prepare a specific power of attorney. So it will be specifically only to buy or sell this particular property. So I know a lot of people are funny about that, but it is very specific. They can only do that one thing, and that is it. The other option is a mail away or an email away. So if you're a seller, you don't really have a whole lot to sign. So in that case, we can email the documents to you as long as you have the capability to print them out. Again, you'll have to go, and there's a few things that'll need to be signed with a notary. Then you'll overnight them back to us so that we have them prior to closing. With a buyer, it gets a little bit more tricky. If it's a cash buyer, it's really just as easy as the seller. So again, we email it out to you, print, sign with a notary, overnight it back. If it's a lender closing, you're talking 100 to 150 pages, which sometimes isn't easy for people to print out. And you're talking a lot more detailed documents that you may need a little bit of explaining on. So, you know, if you're somebody that's done this before and you feel comfortable with it, by all means, we can email you the closing documents. We can also overnight them to you. That way you don't have to print them out, but you'll just go find your own notary. The third option that we have that a lot of companies don't do is that we have a third-party closing company here in Louisville, and they have mobile closers all over the United States. I've actually had one in Alaska. I've had one in the mountains of Colorado. They do charge typically $150. It can be more if it's a very remote area. But what they do is we email documents to them. They print them out and everything. They show up to your house, and then they'll sign with you just like we would. I mean, they'll explain everything to you. They should be knowledgeable about the documents and anything. They'll notarize it, and then they'll stick it in the overnight, and you don't have to do a thing. So a couple different options. Some, of course, cost a little more, but just kind of depends on the situation and how used to this you are, and if you're going to have a bunch of questions, or if you feel comfortable with it.
All right, very good. Yeah, so don't cancel that trip. We can still get it done. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if you have any other questions about title or closing, feel free to reach out to Heather. Her information will be below. If you have questions about real estate, give me a call. Daren Bailey, 502-807-5648. Thanks.
Thank you.